Earth and Mars are converging for a close encounter this fall, and by the time you listen to a few minutes of this, we will be 40 kilometers closer to Mars. According to space weather, approaching Mars. By the time you finish reading this sentence, it says you'll be 40 kilometers closer to Mars. Earth and Mars are converging for a close encounter this fall.
Spacecraft is exploring a red planet. A fleet of robotic spacecraft is exploring a red planet, and scientists are finding new ways to mine an ever-growing mountain of data. Satellites always orbit a planet's center of mass, but they can be pulled slightly off course by the gravity of massive features like Olympus Mons, the solar system's tallest peak. Now, a team of scientists at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center has used small fluctuations in the orbital data of 3 spacecraft to map the gravity field of Mars. In this new map, low-gravity canyons like Valles Marianas in blue stand out from the high-gravity reds and whites of the Tharsis Mountains. By comparing gravity with topography, the scientists made an improved estimate for the crustal thickness of Mars, shedding light on its geologic history and confirming earlier indications that the planet has a molten outer core. The orbital data also revealed seasonal variations in the mass of the polar caps, showing that up to 4 trillion tons of carbon dioxide cycle annually between the poles. The new gravity map should prove useful to future missions as well, by allowing spacecraft to enter orbit more precisely, thus ensuring that the Mars fleet continues to return a massive trove of data.
Yeah, so those were just NASA's few details about Mars. And now Earth and Mars converging closer this fall, one of the best since 2003. And their separation is rapidly shrinking, -8 kilometers per second as of August 21st, yesterday. And you're literally approaching the red planet Mars. Just this week, the brightness of Mars surpassed that of Sirius. That's the brightest star in our sky. And suddenly, Mars is almost bright enough to see in daytime as well, and an easy target for backyard telescopes. Amateur astronomer Maximilian Theodorescu of Romania says, "Here is 1 hour of Mars rotating," who animated the sequence of photos taken August 18 using his 14-inch Newtonian telescope. This is what we're seeing right here. This is from Maximilian Theodorescu of Magurel, Romania. Fantastic imaging. Lots of features are visible, he says. Note how the southern polar ice cap has contracted and broken, a result of being late springtime on that side of Mars. The best is yet to come. By the night of closest approach, October 6th, Mars will be more than double in brightness again, outshining everything in the night sky except Venus and the Moon. Throughout this apparition, the South Pole will remain tilted towards Earth, giving observers a good view of the breakup of the ice caps as Martian spring turns into summer. And right now you can have a good time to look. It's just before daybreak when Mars is high in the southern sky. You can keep watching as twilight creeps up the sky, and the planet's burnt orange hue looks beautiful when surrounded by the day's first hint of morning blue. This is according to space weather. Now, I'm not going to go into too much of what's happening with Mars, but Mars is, as compared to Earth size, it's like about a quarter of Earth, from what it says here. Physical characteristics is approximately half the diameter of Earth, not a quarter, half. It's a half the diameter of Earth with a surface area only slightly less than the total area of Earth's dry land. Mars is less dense than Earth, having about 15% of Earth's volume and 11% of Earth's mass, resulting in about 38% of Earth's surface gravity. The red-orange appearance of the Martian surface is caused by iron oxide or rust. It can look like butterscotch. Other common surface colors include golden, brown, tan, and greenish, depending on the minerals present. Now, I'll leave a link below for you for this, you can see, but I want to go into the atmosphere of Mars. Mars lost its magnetosphere 4 billion years ago. This is the theory that astronomers have. possibly because of numerous asteroid strikes. So the solar wind interacts directly with the Martian ionosphere. So obviously, future manned missions to Mars means that they have to have some way of protecting themselves from solar wind, that is solar radiation and cosmic radiation, because of the fact that it doesn't have a magnetosphere, let alone atmosphere. It doesn't even have the magnetosphere, the magnetosphere that protects our Earth. That's different from the atmosphere. But now, the solar wind interacts directly with the Martian ionosphere, lowering the atmospheric density by stripping away atoms from the outer layer. Both Mars Global Surveyor and Mars Express have detected ionized atmospheric particles trailing off into space behind Mars. And this atmospheric loss is being studied by the MAVEN orbiter. So it's still losing atmosphere as we're speaking. Compared to Earth, the atmosphere of Mars is quite rarefied. Atmospheric pressure on the surface today ranges from a low 30 Pa on Olympus Mons to over 1,155 Pa in Hellas Planitia, with a mean pressure at the surface of 600 Pa. The highest atmospheric density on Mars is equal to that found 35 kilometers above Earth's surface, so that's basically nothing. The resulting mean surface pressure is only 0.6% of that of Earth. The scale height of the atmosphere is about 10.8 kilometers, or 6.7 miles, which is higher than Earth's 6 kilometers, or 3.7 miles, because the surface gravity of Mars is only 38% of Earth's, an effect offset by both the lower temperature and 50% higher average molecular weight of the atmosphere of Mars. The atmosphere of Mars consists of about 96% carbon dioxide and 1.93% argon, 1.89% nitrogen, along with traces of oxygen and water. The atmosphere is quite dusty, containing particles about 1.5 mu in diameter, which gives the Martian sky a tawny color when seen from the surface. So that's what's giving it its dusty reddish oxide color, because of the dust in the atmosphere. It may take on a pink hue due to the iron oxide particles suspended in it. As far as methane has been detected in the Martian atmosphere. It occurs in extended plumes, and the profiles imply that the methane is released from discrete regions. The concentration of methane fluctuates from about 0.24 parts per billion during the northern winter to about 0.65 parts per billion during the summer. And there's an aurora. In 1994, the European Space Agency Mars Express found an ultraviolet glow coming from magnetic umbrellas in the southern hemisphere. Mars does not have a global magnetic field which guides charged particles entering the atmosphere. Mars has multiple umbrella-shaped magnetic fields maintained in the southern hemisphere, which are remnants of a global field that decayed billions of years ago. In late December 2014, NASA's MAVEN spacecraft detected evidence of widespread auroras in Mars' northern hemisphere and descending to approximately 20 to 30 degrees north latitude of Mars' equator. Now, climate. All of the planets in the solar system, the seasons of Mars are the most Earth-like due to similar tilts of the two planets' rotational axis. The lengths of the Martian seasons are about twice those of the Earth because Mars' greater distance from the Sun leads to the Martian year being about 2 Earth years long. Martian surface temperature vary from lows of about minus 122 degrees Fahrenheit at the winter polar caps to highs of about 95 degrees Fahrenheit in equatorial summer. The wide range in temperature is due to the thin atmosphere, which cannot store much solar heat, the low atmospheric pressure, and the low thermal inertia of the Martian soil. The planet is about 1.52 times as far from the Sun as Earth, resulting in just 43% of the amount of sunlight. It's the fourth planet from the Sun, as we know, and the second smallest planet in our solar system, being only larger than Mercury. In English, Mars carries the name of the Roman god of war. It's often referred to as a red planet, referring to the effects of the iron oxide prevalent on the Mars surface giving it its reddish appearance. Mars is a terrestrial planet with a thin atmosphere, with surface features reminiscent of the impact craters of the Moon and the valleys, deserts, and polar ice caps of our Earth. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.